Hi, I'm Brian Poole, Tech Coordinator here at National Trail Local Schools, and this is going to be the Fall 2020 Technology Update, talking specifically about some of those things that have changed since the last update, and then those things that we've added or have happened, obviously, since then. The last time I talked to you, I talked about our virtual servers. We have a number of servers here at National Trail that all run off of virtual servers. Since the last update, we have had the ability to get a significant upgrade in our virtual servers. As you can see there, the virtual servers that we got and upgraded were off of the Department of Defense Computers for Learning site. We got basically $184,000 of used military servers at the cost of approximately $500. Shipping from San Antonio. We upgraded all of our virtual servers from what were then 20-thread servers to 32-thread servers, and that really doesn't even speak to the huge impact that those had. We did the rest of it with one net money as far as upgrading the cases and the power supply, so there was really no cost at the district at all. It's hard to see this picture, but to show you where we're at, if you look at this CPU number right here, we have the processing power on our servers of 246.66 gigahertz because of the fact that there are 5 hosts. Oops, I'm in front of that. The 5 hosts there with 60 virtual servers. Not all those are running. Our 7 virtual networks and our 24 data stores that are all part of this. The total memory you can see on there is 240 gigabytes of RAM and 40.26 terabytes of total storage on our servers. I don't anticipate having to do anything other than replacing fans and power supplies and hard drives for a good deal of time because we are, per capita, if you look at that CPU number there, the amount of CPU we have available versus what we're using, the blue is what we're using right now when I took this picture, versus the amount we have available, which would be that entire graph across there. We are in great shape as far as our servers. One of the things that does for us, it makes things happen fast. People here don't have to wait to log on for 10 and 20 minutes like other school districts do, which sounds ridiculous, but that happens a lot of places. In fact, when I was in the Air Force, I waited up to 45 minutes just to log on before. I like to see that time stay below 30 seconds, and that's not going to be a problem with our servers that we got from the Air Force during the past 12 months. We also finished the Wi-Fi upgrades that I talked about. All the new access points were installed and are in all the classrooms, so we've got very good capability with Wi-Fi. Occasionally we have to reboot some things, but that should be good for the next few years as well. And then coronavirus happened, and we had to do some things because of COVID-19. In the spring, as you know, we went online with basically 24 hours notice. I would say less than that, 24 hours notice. When that happened, we, as a district, in all the offices and everything, and all the teachers responded as quickly as we could. We ended up getting 222 iPads issued out to our elementary school kids, 184 middle school students elected to take home laptops, and we had 291 high school students that already had theirs issued that had those available to them during the at-home time for COVID. All teachers were previously issued laptops, so we had to make some changes as things evolved with that as well. So that was our initial response, which I will tell you was kind of chaotic as fast as we did those things, but amazingly enough, we got almost every single thing back. A couple iPads never got recovered. We had one breakage on the iPads, and all of the middle school laptops made their way back to us. So we were very, very happy about considering how fast those things happen, what happened. Immediately we started doing teacher training. That was something that was different for a lot of teachers going online. Obviously not something that National Trail has experience doing. We have a great online presence. we have probably more tech training than I'm going to say 90% of the schools in the state. But that doesn't mean we're 100% ready for what happened. So immediately started identifying those things that needed training. This is a playlist of 20 videos that were put together for summer training, and those were emailed out to teachers as the need arose, the questions came up, did research at that time, made an instructional video and sent it out. And those happened all the way from back in March through the entire summer. We were doing really training through the entire summer and sending out those links and video playlists and stuff all summer long. There was some comments that we didn't engage students as much during that time. I kind of wanted to point out the change that happened. This graph over here on this side shows the logons that happened in February. We were about 20,000 logons a month, and you can see that we went up to almost 35,000 logons a month. And this chart over here is the activity per month, and we went from in February, before we were online, to around 350,000 to over 500,000 active things going on Moodle. So while not every student was engaged, there was a lot of stuff going on online at that time, and this really kind of goes to show how much interaction we actually had through Moodle as we moved forward. I mean, this huge spike that came up here initially in March, and then things kind of leveled off after that, and obviously it dwindled down at the end of the school year. As far as training went and tools that we identified, besides the immediate response, which was really identifying teachers that didn't have webcams on their laptops and getting those swapped out, because prior to that we really didn't have anyone using webcams as part of their classes, and then we went to everybody needed a webcam. So we did a lot of swap outs there in the beginning. We did that online training that happened, and then over the summer we started identifying those things that we might need going forward, and we really started ordering the beginning of the summer. You can imagine with every school in the nation going online that some of these things were not only hard, they were darn near impossible to come by. But we managed to acquire document cameras, microphones, and personal amplification devices for every teacher in every single classroom. We had to switch document cameras. This document camera that you see up here is not the one that we traditionally use. This is not the mic that we traditionally use, but we tested them and they work out pretty darn well, and we were really happy with the way those tested. And the amplification device that you see here is basically just something that a teacher wears on their hip with a microphone. We really found that it was really hard to project and to speak with a mask on. And so that we identified that as a problem early for teachers, and we were able to get all those things in place before school started. When school started, we did additional training for teachers and identified and did small group training for teachers. We never had more than a grade level at a time, so we did all 4 kindergarten teachers by themselves, all 4 first grade teachers by themselves. So we really stayed small group and tried to make training something that was for that specific group of teachers that they could use going forward. And also continued to make, this is one of the training videos, you can see me talking to me, pointing at me over there. I got pretty good at making videos. But we continued that and got those tools available for all of our teachers before school started. There were a couple things we were short of that took us into the first month of school before all the classrooms had everything delivered, like extension cables, but mostly everything was in place prior to students showing up to school. We also made a change, and I say we, really the elementary school under Ed Eels' leadership with his teachers. We identified that Moodle was not effective in those lower grade levels for both the teachers, the students, the parents, and so they determined that Seesaw was the way to go. So really this year, the K through 8 has migrated away from Moodle to a large extent onto Seesaw, And this is just showing one of the control panels of Seesaw. Seesaw allows teachers to make and to use already made stuff that is directed and specifically for their grade level, and is really, really easy for students to get to by just touching on the iPad, opening up the app. They're assigned things right to a class, and those are things they can do at school as well as if we go online. And it was really a way that the elementary school identified how we could go online in a more productive manner if something else happened and we needed to. Also, we added more iPad carts. The kindergarten prior to this did not have their own iPad carts. They were kind of sharing devices. In fact, we ended all sharing of devices in the school district K through 12. So we added 4 kindergarten carts. We removed carts from iPads from all the specials rooms, art, the intervention teachers, any place that there were stray iPads we used in those elementary school carts for the kindergarten. And now students take their iPad and carry them with them throughout the school day. So if they're going to art and they need an iPad, they use their iPad. If they're going to computer lab and they need an iPad, they're using that iPad specifically, as opposed to sharing them like we had done in the past. So that was another thing that was an expense. We had to add 4 carts. Most of that, if not all of it, was covered by CARE Act money to make that change happen. And you can see this is an elementary school, specifically a kindergarten class here. That's the teachers have the picture there. I won't even tell you who it is, but she's right around the corner there when I took the picture. You can see the students are using the iPads in their class while they're engaged with the teacher at the same time. We also made some changes in grades 5 through 8. Previously, we had computer workstations and computer labs, and that we really felt needed to stop so that we weren't sharing devices, weren't touching the same things all day. So we removed all desktops from the entire school that students use, and we built more laptop carts, so every single homeroom has a laptop cart, and students are assigned the same laptop to use throughout the school year. They get theirs in their homeroom in the morning. They can get intermittent charging throughout the day when they go to a classroom that's not using their laptop, and they stick with that the whole time. Repairs are done by students just take them down to the middle school office, fill out a repair form, and take a spare. And we do all those repairs through my technology classes on Orange Days. So that's actually worked out really, really well. Well enough that I kind of foresee maybe staying with that plan the rest of the time, because students have in most part been very responsible with those devices. They have neoprene sleeves that they carry them around in, and that way they've got them in any class anytime a teacher wants to use them throughout the school day. There were some adaptations by teachers this year that obviously a lot of changes. So teachers really adapted and have incorporated a lot of those things that we learned throughout the year or throughout the online period into a lot of their classes. Some of those lessons learned improved some teachers' ability to work within the technology of today. A lot of teachers learned a lot of new tools. I would say that as a district, we really raised the bar on where teachers are at right now, and they became much more proficient in everything we do technology related. And many, if not all, teachers are now proficient in recording classes and using those recorded for blended learning activities, posting them online, making them available when a student goes into quarantine, for instance, so that they don't come back 2 weeks behind. They can stay up with their class that way, along with all the tools that we've got using Zoom and Google Meet and those things to be able to communicate back and forth with students. I think in many ways far better than we did in the past. Just to kind of give you an overlook of how things have changed. Back in October of 2019, that's where we were October of this exact same time last year. The amount of activities that we did online were about 500,000 a month. Back then, you can see it dipped down and came back up. The same time now, we're looking at over 700,000 for the same time. That's activities done by students per month. But just to kind of give you an idea, I mean, we're using our online system over 700,000 times more, or over 200,000 times more a month than we did the same period the year before. And I just kind of point that out to say that goes to, we've learned how to use those things better that we learned while we were online in a traditional class day as well. So it's kind of been a neat transition for some of those things. That's about it. It's been an exciting year, transitioning from laptops or from desktops to all laptops, getting the students all the iPads, getting all the online training that we've done in the last 12 months, and all the new tools and all the new training has been an adventure. But I really feel that National Trail has done a better job than almost every school district I have talked to. And I spent a lot of time this summer in statewide tech meetings trying to decide how to best implement things going forward. So I really got a good cross-section across the state of how other schools are doing things. And I think National Trail really did a good job of adapting both with all of our teachers and our specialist teachers and our aides, and everything all together was technology-wise was really fantastic, and I'm really proud of the way our district came out of the whole thing moving forward. If anybody has any questions, feel free to email me at any time. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and that's the technology update for National Trail Local Schools.